You're listening to the Wealth Mindset Show, where Hixon Zuercher Capital Management's team of finance professionals, portfolio managers, and a life coach come together to tackle complex topics in finance and retirement planning so you don't have to. From investment strategies and wealth management to tax planning, retirement income, and aligning your money with your values and purpose, the Wealth Mindset Show offers the tools to thrive.
All right. Hey. Welcome back to the Wealth Mindset Show, where the Hixon Zuercher team helps you manage wealth, navigate retirement, and make smart decisions for a secure, meaningful future. I'm Austin Wilson, Director of Investments at Hixon Zuercher Capital Management.
I'm Josh Robb, Director of Wealth Management at Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. And joining us today is Jordan Shaw. He is an advisor at our firm, and we are going to be talking about scams, elder abuse, all the crazy stuff that happens in this world.
It's crazy.
And what we can do to help prevent it and just be aware of it.
True. But first of all, what's going on in your life? Jordan, give us the update.
Yeah, well, speaking of scams, the plumbing situation at my home is barely better than it was. Last time I was on this podcast, actually, I gave an update, and I thought maybe shortly after it was getting
resolved. I wouldn't
resolved.
say it's ongoing, but it's kind of plugged up.
Nice. Yeah, trust me, I've drained all the jokes out of this that I've had.
There it is. See, another one.
We're hoping to get it wrapped up, hopefully. But, this whole thing about scamming, it's not just financial. There's services provided that can be scams as well. So, as the recipient of that, it's not fun.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, and that's, what we'll talk a lot about. But, obviously we're right in the middle of the fun holiday season. So, just busy. That's how life is. All the different shows and events and parties and all that stuff. And just spending time with your family is important.
It's also ice cold.
It is freezing.
I woke up, it was 4 degrees. And then by the time I got moving around a little bit more, it was up to 6.
Okay.
Nice.
And that's just in your house.
And when I left, that's right.
I turn the thermostat up.
Nope, I'm cheap. I'm keeping the thermostat down. Then by the time I left, it was 11. So
double digits.
We're in the winter, and Jordan's coming to Ohio. You've actually had some winters since you've moved here.
Yeah, thankfully. That's what I was looking for.
You're missing out on
back in PA.
Yeah. Last year there wasn't much, so I'm glad we're getting
You
some
didn't think
snow.
that was much. That was the most aggressive winter we've had in a while.
Scraped off my windshields.
It was cold, actually. That's true.
We did get
That's
cold,
true.
just not a lot of snow.
So, scamming people. This is something we're all passionate about. Not doing it.
Right.
But teaching people about. We're talking about financial scams, elder abuse. Scammers, especially today, super sneaky.
Yep.
Very persuasive. And I feel like there's a new angle
with
on some sort of scam all the time, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about a lot about that. Any weird stories of an email that you almost clicked on, or a text, a call, whatever, anything that comes to mind?
I mean, we're going to get into it when we talk to some of the stuff, but to me, the big one is the ability to use AI now, right? So they can mimic sounding like people, which is just crazy to me. And it's like, you can get a phone call and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so who and they're recorded and it sounds just like them.
Right.
And they ask you for stuff. And that's just crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah. One of the newer ones more recently that my wife and I have both received text saying that the BMV, right? The motor vehicle, we owe some unpaid ticket or something like that. And it's like, that one's strange. I don't know. I haven't gotten that one before.
The other one was, for me, is the toll roads.
I've
So
had that
a lot of the toll roads have gone to, these automated,
They'll mail you
prepay and all that stuff, or you just drive through, they track your license plate, and then, so you get those, you're like, oh man, for me, I had driven on the toll road recently, and it was like, oh, maybe I do owe that, but I'm not clicking on that link. I'm going to log in, and that's the key. We'll talk about that. But that's the one that almost took me a minute, because I'm like, well, could be legitimate.
Right.
I don't think it is, but those are the interesting ones.
I have found, and we're going to talk about this a little bit, but if it's mail, it has a better chance of being legit.
Yep.
Because texts and phone calls and emails, not the way the government prefers to get a hold of you.
No.
So we're going to talk about that.
In fact, certain government groups will not do anything but mail.
Absolutely. So. And I think that's a big red flag. So, so here are some common scams to watch out for.
Yeah.
IRS, Internal Revenue Service, right? The tax guys.
No one wants to have them coming after.
No one wants to have them coming after them, but a lot of times there's IRS or government impersonators. They can they'll do mostly phone calls is how this comes up, and they'll say, "Oh my goodness, you owe your taxes or your benefits are going to stop." So a couple thoughts. Number one, the IRS doesn't do that.
No, they don't call anybody.
They don't call. So do not pay anything without verifying. And you can call the IRS.
Yes.
That's a great way to verify. They're not going to call
Hang
you.
up, look
Correct.
up the number, and call that number.
But this brings up a technology that's being used, and that's caller ID spoofing. So just like we can go email spoofing, it's a real thing. I don't know if we've talked about that, but it's a thing where essentially you can make your email, when you send it, look like any email address. It came from anywhere. But then when you like go into the details and like hover over it, you'll actually see the email it came from, but it might not look like it.
You can hide it and make it harder, yes.
They can do the same thing with caller ID and make it look like it's coming from one number when it's actually coming from another, and that is no bueno. So that's one popular example. And why is that targeting perhaps older people?
Well, because, again,
government benefits.
There's a fear of missing or losing something and the headache of trying to get it back. Yeah. And so they're playing on that fear, because the bureaucracy of the federal government means if it is true and I lose my benefit, it could be months before I navigate the steps and forms and everything I need to do to get that back.
Yep.
And I don't want to lose that. So you're right. They're playing off the fear of losing something, or on the fear of, oh no, I don't want the federal government coming after me because I made a mistake.
Right.
And going off of that.
Another one is debt collection, mortgage scams.
And going back to the IRS, a lot of times they want you to pay them in Bitcoin because it is untraceable, for the most part, harder to trace.
Another red flag.
The government's not going to ask for Bitcoin or gift cards or anything like that. They can garnish wages. They'll get their money. So if they're asking for any form of payment that sounds weird, it's probably a scam.
Well, that's the same across the board.
Yeah, through all these. The government in general is not going to have it any other way.
But with any of these scams, if they're asking for gift cards or crypto, those are very common. Those are the two most common. It's fake.
Yes.
No legitimate thing is going to ask for those.
Yeah, unless like my Christmas list has gift cards on it. I'm
Bitcoin?
legitimate.
And Bitcoin?
No Bitcoin, but some gift cards. So I'm legitimate.
Yeah,
so,
but yeah,
Mom, if you're listening,
Bitcoin.
I do want gift cards.
So. Oh, okay.
It's not a scam. Not a scam.
Not a scam. So yes, debt collection, mortgage scams. A lot of times they'll call or email or text. There's 5 ways they can do this, or even mail. They'll use mail for this as well, and saying, "Oh my goodness, you have a lawsuit outstanding, or we're foreclosing on your car or your home because you haven't paid. We're going to try and garnish your wages," all these other things. Well, if you, watch your credit report and make sure everything's legit and up to date on that, that's probably not going to be the case. Yep. There's no debt in your name that you don't know about and you're up to date on everything. Probably not it. One thing that I see, and this is funny because even reputable news channels are all about mortgage fraud being this thing. It's really not as easy to do as people think. Yeah. And all these title locks and all this stuff you need, probably unnecessary, right? Yeah. In most cases, I'm sure there may be 1 or 2 legitimate reasons.
It's happened enough for it to exist, but it's not as rampant as it makes it.
Exactly. So that's usually going to be false anyway. People can't just go steal your home equity and you're not going to know about it in most cases. So those are a couple other ones. Any other thoughts on those?
There's really a fine line too between scams and persistent marketing. Like there's home warranty companies that will send you stuff and they'll also play on fear. Like your warranty's about to expire. Like call us and get an...
Your car warranty is a great example of that. I feel like everywhere I turn, there's either something saying, hey, your car warranty is going to expire. I'm like, I don't even have one, but sure.
Or the gas company every month I feel like sends you, protect your gas line.
Oh yeah.
It's
You're
on
responsible.
You. And I'm like, I actually talked to my dude at the gas guy who works at the gas company. He's like, no, don't do that. Yeah. You're really not if it's actually like the fault of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, there's a good distinguish there between
Some are not scamming you. They're just trying to get your business. And they're a legitimate business. You may just not need that insurance or whatever they're offering.
Here's another one that I think might also impact the elderly population more than others, and that's tech support scams. Yeah. And a lot of times this could be, pop-ups that say your computer's affected with a virus or click here.
With Microsoft.
Oh, it's a bad idea. Yes. Don't do that because that is going to actually get you a virus, which is usually ransomware. And then you do have to pay to get that off or
reset your whole computer and lose everything.
Exactly. So not a good one there. Anyone get a message about a package not being able to be delivered? That's another common one. Hey, it's Christmas right now.
This time of year.
FedEx, UPS, they're the ones delivering, but people pretend to be them and say, click here to redo or confirm your address, and don't click on any of that.
Don't click on
Sometimes I text my mom and tell her package wasn't delivered to our house to see if she actually sent one. So that's
that works. Yeah, that's a smart one.
Yeah, that's right. Or just share an Amazon account and you know where it is.
That's true.
Don't look at during this time.
I know this time of year, it's like delete.
You want to be surprised?
Delete the app. Imposter scams, that's another one. So like would be a scammer calls
this
and
one I talked to.
Yeah, pretends to be a relative or your nephew, your grandson. Oh my goodness, grandpa, we need help.
I was in a car crash and I need this.
They can match your voice and they're going to say, I just need $500 in Visa gift cards.
Yeah.
Or 1 Bitcoin.
Yeah, stop asking for Bitcoin.
and or else I'm going to go to jail. I'm stuck in a Mexican prison, or I don't know. This is probably not real, but they can match the voice of nearly anybody. And if they're, asking for money or personal information, hang up and call them yourself to verify before you do it directly through whatever was sent to you.
And they're hoping
call their parents or a relative to say, hey, is this really going on? And then,
And again, it goes back to the fear, and they're hoping that you make an impulsive decision in that heightened emotional state about someone you care about. So it's really malicious. These ones I really hate out of all of them.
They're just mean. Yeah.
Well, have your grandkids tried to get a hold of you for money?
It's actually, my grandmother has received these calls before, and she's called me, are you okay? I'm okay. I'm fine, but it's bad.
Just sad that they are targeting the elderly for this one in particular. And they're preying on the lack of understanding of what technology is there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The younger generation in general is aware of what could be done, and they're a little more cautious. And whereas the elderly generation, this wasn't a thing. Who called you on the phone was who they were.
Right.
And it is what it is.
Yep.
So it's sad.
Another category would be something like relationship scams. So we live in a world where online social media friendships and online dating is very prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own opinions on that it's not the same or good, probably. But it gets taken way too far sometimes when you develop I call it like the long con, right? You could really chat with someone for days and days and months and build a great relationship, and you feel very comfortable with them because you online chat with them, which you've probably never seen them. You're probably being catfished. But then all of a sudden you're really buddies or you're in love or whatever. And they're like, I'm in urgent need of help and I'm in Zimbabwe and I need 10 grand right now.
Zimbabwe.
Boom.
Yep.
That's another one.
It could also be somebody in person. I mean, we're talking a lot about the technology and digital side of these scams, but I mean, even before this technology, there were people who built the trust up of especially elderly people and then took advantage of them by, hey, let's change your update your will and include me in all this stuff. And it doesn't have to just be technology. And part of our, in our industry, watching out for people who show up in their lives and start adjusting or manipulating decisions, especially financially.
So audit your friends because they might be scamming you. And Jordan, I'm watching you.
Oh,
You're my neighbor, my friend.
Face to face, no AI right here.
That's right.
I'll be as friendly as I can. And the thing with this one too is there's complex networks. It's not just one person or one programs being used. Yeah, so it can really, and the amount of time that they can kind of string you along before they dangle that carrot in front of you. It's a little scary.
There's a sidebar. There's like some YouTube channels of people who are so good at doing the other. So they know the scammer. They know that someone's a scammer, and they have
track them down.
They have abilities to see them on their camera who it is, and they can. Oh my goodness, that's so funny to watch when you're like scamming the scammer. Yep. Oh, that's good. That's good entertainment right there. So that is a couple categories of scams. Mm-hmm. Lots of them out there. That's not an exhaustive list by any means, but those are some of the most common ones and sad things that happen to people we care about.
Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the complexities of managing your wealth? You're not alone. At Hixon Zuercher Capital Management, we specialize in helping affluent families and individuals navigate the complex challenges of managing their finances. Wealth management is all about combining thoughtful financial planning with active investment management to help you reach your goals. Our process is designed to guide you toward what truly matters because we believe wealth isn't the destination. It's a vehicle for something much more meaningful in your life. Achieving your dreams requires careful planning, smart decision-making, and access to high-quality investments. That's where we come in. We understand that complex financial situations call for deep expertise in investing, tax strategies, and retirement planning. But our approach goes beyond that. We integrate your financial goals with your core values, helping you visualize the possibilities your wealth can create for a secure future. If you're ready to take the next step, visit hzcapital.com/start to see if we'd fit into your needs and to schedule a call with us. Again, that's hzcapital.com/start. Now let's get back to today's episode.
But let's talk about the practical ways that we can protect your loved ones, protect yourselves, and try and avoid this making a big impact on our, personal future, our family, financial success, all these other things. So, number one, pause and verify.
Yes.
So, don't do things willy-nilly. Don't do things without thinking. Yep. So, what do you guys think about that as like a step one?
Yeah. Like you said, just don't act on the impulse. Don't act when you're in a heightened state of emotion. That's when you could make a mistake. So say, all right, let me check, let me verify this with somebody, and then I'll follow up or act. And then hang up the phone, do something to help you confirm that what you're about to do is the right decision and direction. Double check the websites or the email addresses or whatever it is that they're communicating with you. Make sure that's correct. Because again, they can spoof and verify, but there is technology, but most of these scammers don't have the ability to stop you from calling that number. And, if you look it up online and find the actual number that you should be communicating with.
Right.
So yeah, that's an important people, just verify who they are.
Yeah.
Ask them questions that only they'll know. Oh, thank you, Johnny, for calling me about
what
your
did you get
crash.
me for Christmas last year?
So, and if you're uncertain, call someone else that would also be aware of that situation. Right.
Another one's probably just trust your gut.
Yeah.
If it feels off, you know what? It probably is. Hang up, delete the text, delete the email. I once a day, I report phishing or spam or whatever to Microsoft. I feel like on my phone once a day because I'm like, nope, not trying it. Ignore it. If it's something real, the person will actually get hold of you again. Another one is added security. This is my compliance officer here. He is all about added layers of security.
Yeah. And I always say it's okay or worth it to be a little inconvenienced if it adds that extra layer. So two-factor authentication. And all that is most people have a username and password when you're logging into whatever.
Right.
Adding a second layer, which is usually some code that is sent to you.
Yep.
Sometimes you use an app for that. Sometimes it's a texted code to your cell phone or whatever. That secondary layer makes it extremely hard if someone gets access to your password. So if they're able to, whether it's through a virus or hacking, they still can't get in until they get that second layer.
Right.
So as much of a headache as those are, it's a great way of adding another barrier between your information and someone else that shouldn't have it.
Yep.
Specifically for emails too, because email accounts, we've all had emails for 20 plus years, right? Like it's been around
I'm still
for
using
long
my
enough.
first email.
Honestly, me too.
It's a
High
Yahoo.
school,
Yahoo still.
and they never required that. In fact, the multi-factor authentication wasn't very big back then. So you have to make the conscious choice to get into your email, go into the security settings and add one, set it up. Because a lot of new softwares and programs, they require it now. But email is one of the biggest vulnerabilities that you have that scammers will use.
And we would advocate for using a password manager. We use one here in the office. There's a lot of different options, but then it keeps all of your passwords secure for one.
Don't reuse them.
And it tells you if your passwords are weak, if they're reused, all these other things. It'll give you grades and scores. And it's a scary thing sometimes when you're like, I've used that for everything. I only used one. When I was young, I used one password for every single thing I had.
And like it.
No, I didn't get scammed because no one scammed people back then.
But that is the thing is because if they just get it one spot, most of these hackers, when they get a password, are going to try out all the key places that they want just to see if you'd reused it. And so, they're not necessarily going to try to get the password from the secure place. They're going to go to the easy places like an email and hope you reuse that somewhere else that they want. So those are the keys there.
Another one is just monitoring accounts.
Yeah, keep an eye on everything.
Keep an eye on everything. Keep an eye on your email because it'll often tell you when people log into certain things. That's one thing.
Look at history.
Look at your bank statements and your investment statements. Look for anything unusual. Look at your credit report. We have an episode from way back in the day, probably 5 years ago, when we started the podcast about your credit score.
Yes, we talked about
monitoring your credit report and all this other stuff. So check that out. We'll link that in the show notes. And then another one, Jordan, talk a little bit about maybe just adding someone else to help you through some of these decisions.
Yeah, I think this is especially important for two categories of people. People who are just so busy that it's hard to keep track of everything going on in their life. If they have some sort of assistant or manager that helps them with their calendar and can monitor emails and things like that, that's what you need to do. For elderly people who, are more susceptible to these sorts of tricks and things, having someone else in your corner, and really having an advisor who doesn't just make sure that you have enough stocks in your account or whatever it is, but looks at everything involved with your financial picture, who can say, hey, we received this email from you. It's not a typical communication that you would send. We want to reach out to you directly and see how things are going. And do you have any questions with your accounts? And making sure someone else that can say, you've got protection on your accounts. They're being monitored by someone besides yourself. So that is also something that it's always good to have another set of eyes.
Absolutely. So a couple final red flags before we wrap up. Really simply, if it says it's urgent, it might be fake. That's number one red flag. Act now or lose all your money. Probably a red flag. Secrecy. Don't tell anyone. Probably a red flag. We mentioned this multiple times, but strange payment methods. Yep. Josh wants gift cards. Josh wants Bitcoin, but most people aren't going to ask for that. Yeah. So,
and I'm not asking for payment.
Yeah, if they're not asking for those for payment, or if you're a financial advisor, we're not asking for those for payment.
Nope.
Probably bad.
Yeah. And wire transfers, and that's the other one we haven't talked about. Is those are direct transfers, and once they're gone, that's near impossible to get back. And so, again, scammers are trying to use the way they can most easily and also most likely get that money and keep it. And so that's why they're using those type of things, because they're harder to claw back.
Yep. Another red flags, like look at how emails or texts are handled, odd phrases, typos.
Is this, like if I get something that I think is from Austin, is this how he communicates?
Exactly.
Is he using this similar phrasing, languages, typos? Is it normal for what I would expect from Austin or not? That's kind of that sniff test on that.
I mean, this doesn't even we haven't even been talking about, but this happens in the corporate world all the time. Mm-hmm. We've gotten, scam emails from
all the time,
quote unquote, I'm using air quotes on a podcast, from Tony, our CEO. It wasn't from Tony. You can check. There's 5 ways to check whether he sent it or not. But
he's just down the hall. He
just ask him.
Just pop his head out. And
so, he doesn't ask me to send him money or a gift card or these sort of things. So, other ones are too good to be true offers. Yeah. If it's too good to be true,
it probably is.
Probably is. Yep. So, red flag there. But I guess in closing, if it happens, if you're scammed, don't feel ashamed because it happens to everyone. It happens to the smartest people in the world. Contact your bank, contact your advisor. They will
contact the police.
Yeah. They will work with you to do as much as they can. Sometimes, unfortunately, you just are going to be out some money or whatever, but there are ways that you can often claw back some of that. If it happens on credit cards, it's very nice. Mm-hmm. That's usually a lot more covered than if it's cash.
Why that's not what
if it's cash or something like that, that's not the case. So that's kind of the wrap up here. Any final thoughts?
That's reporting it, being open to say, hey, this is what happened, may help prevent others. Again, don't be ashamed that they're targeting a ton of people, and it happens more often than you think. And so communicating that to make sure we can try to prevent it from other people happening, but also see what we could do to try to rectify that is important, because again, it's everywhere. And that's the sad truth is I wish it wasn't, but it is more frequent than we
and
probably
it's not
realize.
That it's not illegal. It is illegal.
Yeah.
But it's so unenforceable.
Yeah. It just
they can't catch everyone. They might catch 1 in 100.
Yep. But still reporting it, still working through it makes sense.
Absolutely. Jordan?
Yep. And everyone will be targeted.
Yes.
There's no one that's going to escape this. Even if you try to be as off the grid as possible, these scams will find you. Yeah. So it's be on the lookout all the time.
So I guess in closing, if today's episode was helpful or helped spark some thoughts, or you can share with someone, go ahead and do that. Hit that subscribe button on your podcast so that you get new episodes when they come out on Thursdays. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're pretty active on there, and we'd love to stay in touch. And if you're ready to invest with us, head over to hzcapital.com. We'd be happy to talk to you, and maybe we could be a good fit for you and your financial situation. Or you can just check out the resources we have, like the Timeless Principles of Investing at thewealthmindsetshow.com. And until next episode, have a good one.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us at the Wealth Mindset Show, where we tackle the complexities of finance and life planning to help you align your wealth with your values. We hope today's conversation provided value and clarity as you navigate your financial journey. Your hosts work for Hixon Zuercher Capital Management, and all opinions expressed by them or any podcast guest are solely their own and do not reflect the opinions of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Clients of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast. There is no guarantee that statements, opinions, or forecasts provided herein will prove to be correct. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Indices are not available for direct investment, and any investor attempting to mimic index performance would incur fees and expenses that could reduce returns. Securities investing involves risks, including the potential loss of principal, and there is no assurance that any investment plan or strategy will be successful.